Do we have some absolute beginners? Yes, we do. And for those, thank you very much. So for those who, lower hand, and for those who are considering yourself an intermediate level, that's a wide range. Well, you could go anywhere between 1 year or several years, depending on how intense you study Chinese language. So we have a few intermediate level students here. And then the rest, I would think you are considering yourself advanced Chinese students. All right, so thank you very much. So we have a wide range here from the very beginners to advanced students, and we will see how this form would work for everyone. And we welcome feedbacks in the end. Now, let's get started. I will share my screen. Just bear with me for a few minutes. All right, so here is my host screen. Lunch Hour Mandarin, 午间中文. This is our first session. Every Monday at 12:30, we will have this 30 minutes free and open to everyone. So I hope you will enjoy the rest of this first session. Just quickly, for those who are new to China Institute, we've been around for over 94 years since 1926. Our School of Chinese Studies have been chartered since 1944. We're teaching Chinese language, literature, humanities, arts in Lower Manhattan. This is the door of our old home in Upper East Side in Manhattan. And our new entrance that will be open very soon to the general public. And we have beautiful space downtown Manhattan. When all of this is over, I would invite you to come to our beautiful classrooms and we can see each other 3D. All right, so for today, I selected a quote from The Prophet by Kahlil Gibran. For many of you who know him, well, this was a masterpiece published in 1923. It was in fact translated by a Chinese writer, Bin Xin, in 1931, only a few years after The Prophet was published in New York. Kahlil Gibran himself, well, he's a Lebanese writer. Love. Here is a quote. I would give a couple of minutes for everyone to just read and take into the heart. When I was looking through the materials for today's session, I feel this short quote is powerful in a calming and uplifting way. Given our current circumstance where hardship and sufferings are too paramount, these lines, I hope, will provide a positive structure, especially as well we are all staying and working from home, that these 4 lines from the beginning of the day towards the end of the day would provide a positive structure that could serve as a reminder from time to time for all of us. So now let's get to the title of this chapter. Just for the beginners and for intermediate and advanced learners, well, this really is a review. This, the written form of a Chinese word, we call a character. The character for the title is I. And on top of the character, we can see this is the romanization of Chinese pronunciation. We call pinyin, using the alphabetic letters to represent the Chinese character phonetically. This is a tool, as you probably have guessed, just by looking at how it is written in alphabetic letters. And you probably guessed, and rightly, this is a tool was invented by Westerners. In fact, it was invented by Italian Jesuits in the early 19th century when they were learning Chinese and trying to find the tool to support the learning of Chinese pronunciation. Now in mainland China and many parts in the world, learning Chinese, or even for native Chinese, we all learn pinyin starting the first day of school. And you may notice that there is a little thing on top of the letter A. And you're right, it's not a random dot, but something very important, a tone. We often say that Chinese is a tonal language, which means the meaning of the word will change depending on the meaning of depending on the tone. Now, we often say that there are 4 standard tones and conveniently numbered them as first, second, third, and fourth tone. So this is the 4th tone. And by looking at the way it is written, it's also called a falling tone. It sounds a little bit like angry because it's sharp and short. And the way that we pronounce this is I. And you may repeat after me, I. So far, quite simple, right? We got the character, the written form, the phonetic part, pinyin, and then we get the alphabetic letters and also the tone. Now, let's take a leap. So now we are looking at 4 lines here. The first line is pinyin. And you can see for each character, we have the pinyin for each character. And in this line, we actually have all 4 tones. The first 2, second tones. This is the 3rd tone that goes down first and then goes up. Second tone. And then we have a 4th tone here. And here, oh, okay, sorry, I lied. There are actually 5 tones. This is a neutral tone. There's nothing on top of the pinyin. It's pronounced naturally, softly. It's a neutral tone. The second line are in Chinese characters. I underscored the character in the same word so that it will give a sense of rhythm. Words in blue are literal translation, which by itself you can see in order doesn't make any sense because, well, we all know there is another thing called grammar in order to make the sentence work. And the last line is the original English text. So to read aloud together, I will read twice. First time, I will pause after each word. I would invite you to imitate as much as you can of the pronunciation you hear. especially if this is your first few Chinese sessions. Don't worry about which tone you are pronouncing. Just try to imitate as closely as possible. And also, when you look at the alphabetic letters, the pinyin, just be careful. Some pinyin are not pronounced the same as in English letters. Yeah, just a minor inconvenience. All right, so let's start. The first time, just by word. And please, well, even though I cannot hear you, please read aloud after me. 黎明醒来带着一颗轻快的心，感谢又一天充满爱。Now, for the second time, I will pause by punctuation. I will still read slowly and pause by punctuation. And you can try to imitate the entire sentence. Now, let's start. 黎明醒来，带着一颗轻快的心，感谢又一天充满爱。Now, the second line, also the first time just by words. 午间休憩，静思，爱的激情。Second time. 午间休憩，静思爱的激情。Third one. 黄昏归家，心怀感恩。黄昏归家，心怀感恩。Last line. 然后入睡，祈祷，心中所爱，唇边 颂唱，然后入睡，祈祷心中所爱，唇边颂唱。All right, so let's do one more time together. This time I will try to speak in the normal speed, and I took off the English text. So while you are reading after me, also trying to think of the meaning of these words. It does not have to be word to word, just the overall meaning of these lines. All right, here we go. 黎明醒来，带着一颗轻快的心，感谢又一天，充满爱。午间休憩，静思爱的激情。黄昏归家，心怀感恩。然后入睡，祈祷心中所爱，唇边颂唱。We may forget all about the vocabularies and everything, but I do hope that we remember the title of this quote, I. All right, we will have the recording available on China Institute YouTube channel. Here is my contact information and my co-host Yanjie's contact info. You're welcome to share your feedbacks and questions in the chat room now, and also email us as well. We welcome any feedbacks, suggestions for our future sessions. So now I will bring back to